What we do know right now is that CSA, Cricket South Africa, is currently holding a board meeting. We're told that's happening right now. We'll link up with a news conference, I understand, a little later. Cricket analyst now, former player and selector Hugh Page joins us to explain what's going on and what we can expect, possibly, from that board meeting. Do you have a sense of what's gone wrong over the past couple of years?
You know, Jeremy, it's sort of been slowly eroding over a number of years now, and you know, it's just accelerated with the latest appointment of Thabang Moreau as the CEO. You know, cricket really is, you know, it's a sport that's played right across the country. It's loved by many people from all communities, and it really is in dire straits. You know, I chat to people who love the game, watch the game, and have played the game. They no longer even bother to watch cricket because of the state of the affairs that are going on behind the scenes. And the public and you know, the people that support it aren't oblivious to what's happening in the boardroom.
The concern, of course, is that we could perhaps go the way of the West Indies. Maybe a decade or more ago, a major cricketing nation going through similar problems, possibly, and now it's a minnow. Yeah,
well, I mean, what people don't realize is that the ground roots level, cricket is battling. The money that's meant to be spent in certain rural areas is disappearing. It's not being spent in the right areas. School cricket is not as popular as it used to be for obvious reasons, and club cricket has virtually fallen apart. And you know, if you haven't got that feeder system into the first-class system, then you're going to battle, and you know, the gap just gets bigger and bigger.
Maybe we should discuss the role of an administrator, the role of Cricket South Africa, and the role of the chief executive. What's the principal remit?
Well, I would think, you know, it's a business at the end of the day, and appropriate people need to be appointed in appropriate positions. And I think it's not all cricket related. A lot of them would be financially related. Others would be from a marketing point of view, press related. You know, you have to have key people placed in those particular appointments because they are crucial to the brand itself. And as you quite rightly said earlier, the brand is falling apart at a rate of knots.
When we have key people in place, or when you suggest key people in place, they don't necessarily need to be cricket people. They need, in fact, it probably is a good idea if they're not. They need to be adept administrators.
I think that first and foremost, it would be of benefit if they had an understanding of the game, but that's not the criteria. You know, in other positions you can have cricket people placed that look after the cricketing aspect of things, but from a commercial point of view, you have to have qualified, capable people in those particular positions. It's crucial.
Hugh Page, it also raises the question surely about the role of oversight as far as Cricket South Africa is concerned, and the role of the board.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, you know, what I'd like to see is that, you know, there's so much jockeying for positions, there's so much behind-the-scenes politics going on, and I'm not talking about racially based, it's just, you know, people looking
boardroom politics.
It's boardroom politics, and people looking after friends, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, you're not talking about a little hobby here, it's a big business, it's a multi-million rand business, and it needs to be run accordingly.
The suspension, surely, of the chief executive is a step in the right direction.
Well, to be honest with you, yes, maybe, but I'd like to see the entire board step down because they've been involved for some time now, and you know, they've been associated with what's going on. It's not like it's only happened in the last week or so. This has been coming for quite some time.
That's hardly likely to happen. It might. We'll see what happens this afternoon. But what would need to replace that structure, do you think?
Well, I'd like to see, you know, the stakeholders. And when I say the stakeholders, I'm talking about the people that play the game. I'm talking about people that support the game. And probably most importantly at this point in time, the sponsors. You know, put a stake in the ground and say, we can't continue to carry on like we are because the game is not going to move forward. If anything, well, it's not if anything, the game is regressing at a rate of knots, whereby we're losing young cricketers who to other sports who no longer want to be associated with cricket.
The decision by Standard Bank to say enough is enough.
Yeah.
And that's also a death knell, sure.
Well, I think if I were currently a board member, I'd say, well, there's obviously a huge signal being sent here, and we obviously aren't doing things right. And how do we suddenly get this thing right? And that's why this meeting is crucial. But I really feel that, we need to get a new board in place, an interim board, and we need to then set aside a time and a period whereby we replace that interim board with a proper board that is permanent.
It also seems that the relationship between Cricket South Africa and some of the unions is also fractured. Why is that?
Well, I think it's been a case of bullying. At the end of the day, Cricket South Africa have all the money, and they call the shots as far as the unions are concerned, or the provinces, whichever way you may look at it. And they rely on Cricket South Africa for a handout to keep the game going forward. And, it's a case of, it's almost, I don't know how best you would put it, but it's if you don't toe the line, you don't get the money. It's as simple as that, from what I'm hearing. I've been a cricket supporter and avid watcher of it on TV. I haven't been associated with the game the last 10 or so years. It's not that I don't enjoy the game, it's not that I am bitter about anything, but I just have seen what's going on in the last while, and people are sitting back and no one's saying anything. And what, Hugh Page, does it leave a bitter taste in your mouth when you see it unravelling the way it has? Well, yeah, I'm angry, to be honest, because it doesn't have to be like this. It really doesn't. Often when and I have to say it, when you're a white cricket supporter, white ex-player, the moment you start making a noise, you're perceived to be racist. Well, if it's race that you're talking about, there are plenty of people that are more than capable of fulfilling this position from the various communities. So it's not about that. It's about making the right appointments and appointing the right people to do the right job. And clearly we don't have the right people to do that. And it's going to manifest itself surely when England arrives, because already the mind games have started. You've had Nasser Hussain, a former captain, saying that the England team should capitalise on the chaos. And of course he's going to say that, isn't he? No, there's no doubt. I mean, the Australians previously had been the past masters of it. And now suddenly, you've got England doing the same thing. Oh, I'm sure England, they want to come here and they want to do well, and they're probably looking to try and get a whitewash. But by the same token, they would like to be playing against a South African side that is made up of all the players that are available to play, and the best side to be available and able to take the field. Does this kind of crisis permeate the dressing room, do you think? No doubt. I mean, the players, are very nervous. They've got to be careful of what they say, because, it can be misconstrued, and, at the end of the day, their livelihood and their careers are fairly short, and they can't afford to get it wrong. Former player selector Hugh Page, thank you very much.